Welcome back to PI Today podcast. I'm your host, Dene Jones. And today I have a really good friend with me, Logan Quirk from Quirk Accident and Injury Attorneys. Welcome today,
Danae, thank you.
Logan.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Good.
Long overdue.
Long overdue.
Uh-huh.
And you have a lot on your mind today. I'm very
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, we're gonna get into that, I think, very soon.
Very soon. But for now, let's chat about you. You're a law firm owner, attorney, business. You're more about the business these days.
Yeah, I think as I've evolved and progressed, the legal side, well, it's always near and dear to my heart. I'm being drawn to the business side more frequently.
How long have you been licensed and practicing?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me do math. This is 2025, so December will be 17 years
Wow.
since I've been barred in California. And then I got my license in Nevada the following year, and then during COVID, I got barred in Montana.
You're like the John Dutton of PI.
No, 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 no. I'm a little bit nicer, I think.
How is PI in Montana?
It's there, just a lot less volume. There's some firms there, but I think a lot of the firms have to have a few different practice areas. There are some specialists, but it's not. Obviously, the high volume is not nearly as big as like California or more populous states.
So they kind of, like in Arizona, I remember Arizona before like California attorneys started moving in,
Hmm.
I'd visit them and they're like, oh, yeah, PI, I do more business or I do more. And they had bigger specialties. And PI
Yeah.
was just like a slim margin of what their practice would be.
Well, I mean, Arizona now has all those that law that allows non-attorneys to form businesses with attorneys. So that's kind of been a big onset of a lot of attorneys moving into Arizona. But I think the market was underwhelmed, maybe. So for like Phoenix and whatnot, but you do now you see all the California
Yeah.
attorneys there. Montana, I don't see the California attorneys there, but I do know that there are some people from other states like Idaho, Utah. Utah has a lot of personal injury attorneys, so they're starting to encroach a little bit. But I'm not really dialed into the personal injury scene there. I try not to take work on out there as much as possible because I like to have some separation between work and personal. I try to use Montana as a escape from my work life.
But because you were building your home out there, you just went ahead and got
I
licensed.
was, frankly, during COVID, there wasn't much going on sometimes, and I was like, well, I'm moving there part time, so see what I can do. And the big draw was I didn't have to take the bar. If I was gonna have to take the bar again, I was like, no, because after the Nevada bar, I swore to myself I would never take another bar. So I was able to get admitted on motion. So the Supreme Court looked at my paperwork, let me in, and it's been since 2022, I believe.
Why not?
Why not?
Keep adding to the Rolodex.
It's I don't want to add too much because then you got all the administrative BS and the CLE requirements.
Yeah.
Although they do cross multiply, I have to keep track of 3 states, and then like California's every 3 years. Montana has a different calendaring system, and Nevada has its own calendaring system. So I think I'm at my limit.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Because you have offices in downtown LA, Thousand Oaks,
Thousand
which
Oaks.
we were just chatting. You're
Yeah,
moving to.
yeah. We're attempting to cross our fingers. I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch, but probably relocating to Santa Barbara first quarter of 2026. I have a few other satellite offices sprinkled throughout California. So
Northern California too, right?
Oakland, San Diego. I do have an office in Riverside. Um, I think I got them all. Las Vegas.
That's why you're more on the business side of it
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And how is that going?
It's going. They're not all of them are full offices. A lot of them are just requirements to keep up with referral partners. I have to have a brick and mortar location.
Right.
So I might not have staff there, but I have a like an address listing. But it's going well. I I've seen like the shrinkage of a lot of offices because of now working remotely, but I think a lot of people keep office locations in different cities so they can tap into those local markets, and it helps with obviously with your Google profile. You have to have a brick and mortar
Mm-hmm.
location in order to
Mm-hmm.
qualify for the GMB business page.
And so you kind of want to tap into tech. You have podcasts. Tell me kind of what your future is for.
You're asking the hard questions. So the impetus behind the podcast wasn't professional at all. It was a
Which,
more
by the way, really quick, I really like the name. It fits you.
I got blessed with a last name that fits my personality.
100%. Say the name of your podcast, which you guys have to follow
Yeah,
it.
it's Q's Quirky Podcast. My last name is Quirk, and I think I've been told I personify Quirky pretty well. So yeah. So the reason I started it
100.
was more of a personal reason to reconnect with people in my past, present, who I hadn't talked to for a while, and then the second component was to talk to people that aren't the top 1% in any given industry and kind of connect with more relatable, familial people and distill some information that made them successful, whether it's financial, educational, personal, and just kind of have a free flowing conversation. So those were the two driving forces behind each other. We took a little hiatus over the last couple months, but I think today will be the first time I've done a podcast, and I will interview you later in
Uno
probably three
reverse.
three or 4 months. So yeah, it's nice. You're I guess you're the first episode of season 2. Maybe that's how I'll
Thank
stylize
you.
it.
But you know what? I do like your podcast because it isn't just law related. You do have a lot of
I
different.
don't think I've interviewed a lawyer yet.
Yeah, it's kind of it's neat.
I purposely was trying to keep it separate, but I see some convergence in the future. But who knows? I'm just kind of doing it until I don't want to do it anymore. And if it turns into something, awesome. But the goal behind it was not anything related to business. I had no desire to monetize it. And if those two happen to come about, then great. But if not, I'm doing what I enjoy doing. It's been nice to have something else that kind of gives you a new avenue in life and to kind of rejuvenate some interest in getting to see your friends,
Hmm.
professional connections, and talk to them on unrelated things that you don't always talk about on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the house in Montana completed?
No. That's a
Well,
long story.
well, I was going to ask you that because I know it started taking up a lot of your time. But prior to that, when I had first met you, like, this is
I think 2017 we first had lunch at
right.
oh gosh, one of my favorite restaurants that got shut down.
It was like downtown LA
Yeah,
right
it
before
was
COVID.
on Main Street.
But you were doing a lot of like, I would say extreme sports. I don't know if you would classify it as extreme.
I would just
It's
call them
very outdoorsy.
normal California sports or normal outdoor activities.
A lot
Well,
of
we
mountain.
we know you're not the outdoor person, so
I'm outdoorsy. I like, sipping rosé on
yeah,
patios.
sitting on the patio outside. Um, yeah, so I grew up in Northern California, near a river, the American River, and my parents encouraged us to be outside, and our grandparents were always very outdoor focused. So, growing up in Sacramento, snow was right there. So I grew up snowboarding. I grew up fly fishing. So that's one of my passions, and I still love to this day. And now I'm fortunate enough to be in a location outside of California that has great access to fly fishing.
Which is your front yard, right?
Maybe. Trying to keep that a thinly guarded secret.
Sorry.
It's okay. We won't give the location away. Um,
The Yellowstone.
yeah, but the Yellowstone filmed in various different locations, and then they kind of made the home appear in a valley that was 4 hours away. So there was some cinematic creativity, I think, with that. But I am near where Yellowstone was filmed, and no, I did not buy thinking that I had no idea. And actually, the locals, like, I had to really keep close to the vest that I was from California because there was a lot of pushback on Yellowstone people and
I can
Yellowstone
imagine.
crowd, and justifiably so, I think, in a lot of respects.
Well, not only because of the show, but I also think in different states like Montana with COVID, I think a lot of Californians fled. And, obviously it drove up the real estate,
Yeah,
drove up the different markets. And
totally. And a lot of people didn't want that. They don't want the saying is don't California as my Montana.
yeah, exactly.
They just wanted their own way of life. And I think what I tried to do, maybe a little too much, was to try and not step on or divulge where I was from and be very mindful of their way of life. And I think I've accomplished that, but now I'm kind of letting my guard down a little bit, and it is what it is, you
You
know.
can always just say you're from Northern California. I
Get
think
a
that's
little more
probably
pass.
more
Yeah, I get a
acceptable.
yeah. I think I get a little bit more of a pass than saying I'm from where I live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What else is on your mind? I know you have a lot.
Ooh. There's There's a initiative that's being floated by Uber that's currently trying to go on the 2026 November ballot via proposition. And this is coming for us. This is a big push by $1 billion corporation to try and game the system. And um, it's not in its final form yet, but the high level ideas behind them are very, very scary, and could, if in effect it passes, wholesale change the industry for not just consumers, attorneys, vendors like you, doctors, defense lawyers. There's ripple effects that will be felt not only by attorneys, but most importantly, I think the consumers who depend on us for access to the legal system. So it's scary, and we're marshaling a plan to put together resources, ideas, to make sure that this does not change the current status quo, or at least change it to usurp consumers' rights to choose lawyers, to choose doctors, to get quality access care. Because it really is another playbook by Uber, $1 billion corporation, trying to buy themselves a law that rigs the system in their favor. And it's scary.
Yeah, I read through it. It's not good at all.
No, I mean it's definitely designed to leave consumers behind, and will block their access to the legal system. Not only the legal system, but also to doctors, and try and force them to not get access to quality care that they need. And it's rich $1 billion CEOs not playing by the rules. And we see this day in and day out. And now this old playbook is now coming into the legal side via a proposition that is being trying to be funded by $1 billion corporation.
And
And
really just to gaslight us to escape their responsibility.
yeah, it's like a projection of their anger on someone else, and just a gaslight or even scapegoat. And
Mm-hmm.
in the world of personal injury, we are easy targets for some of it being our own actions. And there has been a pollution of the jury pool forever, trying to label us as scam artists and ambulance chasers. And I almost just laugh and run with the moniker, but seriously, we can't let them scapegoat us. We have to get out and educate people about what we do, and not only individual attorneys, but groups like CAOC and CALM, pushing back and educating and letting the public know, like, look, the lawyers are on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we are here to fight for you. And if the messaging does not come out, then scary proposition.
100%. And two, the consumers, I mean, at that point, then they're not going to get the proper legal representation. No one's going to want to take the case.
Yeah,
And they're going to have to settle basically pennies on the dollar with the carrier. So the carrier's going to want this
yeah.
because it's going to
It's
save them money because they're already fighting the whole nuclear, settlement. When at the end of the day, they could have already settled. They have ample opportunities to settle, but they're cheap. And then when they go to court, they get spanked, and
yeah,
rightfully so.
and they get the bell rung, and
So
you know
it's
what?
this vicious cycle. But again, I feel like it's gaslighting because they want to hide certain, practices that they're trying to sweep under the rug.
100%, I couldn't say it any better.
Yeah.
And we can't let this slide. And we've seen this on display in other states. Like Nevada had it, a fee cap initiative defeated at the Supreme Court. There's other RICO lawsuits being filed by Uber in other states. So I think their eyes are being opened. And
The other RICO claims, has that been defeated as well, or is
I
that
don't know the
ongoing?
disposition of
Mm.
those lawsuits. I think the one in California is definitely ongoing. So
Well, that's newer, but I'm saying if it was in other
I
states, do we
don't
know?
I don't know yet, and I don't want to speak out of pocket because I'm not intimately familiar
Yeah.
with the where they are at in that lifespan of that lawsuit. But I think there's definitely a playbook that they're trying to implement, and they're
Hmm.
trying to apply it in different areas. And it's not just California now. I mean, it was Nevada first, these other states, but they're going to pick and choose and tailor their message to see what fits that particular jurisdiction. And they're trying to root out access to the legal system. And
Do you want to speak to, I think a lot of it's trying to cover up the claims that's against Uber with the rape and
yeah, so I think it's a deflection
100%.
of their bad press they're getting for their sexual assault claims. There's a big consumer push for more public safety. And Uber doesn't like this because it doesn't fit in their profit model. So they're trying to deflect the attention away, and it's a tried and true strategy. I mean, look at politics. You don't answer the question, you deflect and push the attention somewhere else and try and highlight something else. And they're doing it, and they got the money to do it, and they are unabashedly doing so. And it's a thinly veiled attempt to save money, strip consumers of their access to doctors and lawyers, and basically try to line their pockets with more money. That's all it is. It's a money grab
Yeah.
and a power grab.
Yeah.
Greedy corporations fighting average Joe Americans, mom and pop shops. Can't, small business is definitely going to be affected by the multi-billion-dollar corporation pushing this initiative, and it has no place in our system.
Scary times, and I think that it's more important to band together now and come together as the collective group that we are and fight this.
100%. And that
And we have some of the greatest voices.
we do. And you're picking a fight with trial attorneys. Like, who better to advocate for you of someone that goes into trial, and when the pressure's on, they can compartmentalize, focus, put in the right message, and they're gonna fight back. You don't, trial attorneys aren't gonna take this laying down. I know they're gonna fight back, and you hit the nail on the head. This initiative is now harmonizing a lot of people together, and it's giving us a cause to rally around and to make sure that we do a better job of educating the public about what we do, what we provide, and who we represent, instead of letting some other entity or $1 million corporation dictate the terms of what these people actually are. Because we're not scummy ambulance chasers. There's not a lot of greedy plaintiffs looking for a multi-billion-dollar payout. I mean, for 98% of the people that are in this business, we're doing it for the right reasons, and we're helping out
Yeah.
people get access to care, get compensation for their losses, and to scapegoat all of us under that umbrella is unfair. But okay, now it's time to fight back, and
Yeah.
you're fighting trial attorneys. That's not a fight I'd want to be on the other side of.
And some of the best trial attorneys that we have are the most passionate ones who really care about the consumers and their rights. And hey, if you're going to awaken the beast, let's go.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it can be very exciting
it,
too to see what
it's
we're going to do.
it's scary, but it's also it's exciting to see all these heavy hitters, all these brilliant minds coming together and coalescing and finally coming together in a common cause without the infighting to fight back against Goliath. It's really like a David versus Goliath fight, and we do have resources, but we don't have nearly the resources that Uber has. So I look forward to pulling out the slingshot and throwing that rock right at Goliath and knocking him down.
Yeah. Yeah. But, even if it is a David and Goliath, we all know that everybody likes the little guy to win.
Yeah, and
So we have big voices.
we have
So,
big voices, big personalities, very talented people, very driven organizations, and I I like what's gonna come out about this
yeah.
because it's, what, if you want to fight, let's fight.
Well, more to come. And I think that maybe we should have a part two
I
to
would love to do a part two.
dissect.
Yeah. I think
Um,
to dissect what's actually gonna be when it's in its final version. I would love to
Absolutely.
come back and talk about that. I clearly am passionate about this, and I I just I don't want people to be railroaded by a big corporation for the wrong reasons.
100%. Well, thank you for your time. This was really exciting. We
Yeah.
have more to come. Again, it's going to be a little reverse Uno style. So stay tuned. I'm in the hot seat with Logan
Yeah.
for his what is it?
Q's
Q's
Quirky Podcast.
Quirky
I
Podcast.
get to interview you from this beautiful set. I'm taking notes on how to set up my podcast so it looks more professional.
Thanks. All Dr. Nick was really
Well,
fun.
I also want to shout out Dr. Nick. You talked about a person who is spearheading a big effort. Without Dr. Nick's efforts, we would not be where we are. So thank you to Dr. Nick, and I want to take the opportunity to thank you for having me on your podcast, and thank you guys for letting me come up here and have this platform to share my thoughts. We're going to need all the voices, resources we can get to make sure that
Absolutely.
the righteous initiative gets defeated.
Absolutely. And when the podcast hits, definitely leave your comments and thoughts and in the comment section below, and let's fight. Let's go.
I have a fact check already. I called it a righteous initiative. It's a bullshit initiative. So I want to make sure that
I like that.
I get that corrected before we leave.
You just fact checked yourself.
I did. It's Friday, so I already have my mind towards the weekend. But yeah, in all seriousness, this is a corporate power grab, and it's designed to help out billion-dollar corporations at the expense of the average American consumer.
But we have some really good fighters, like CAOC is, heading it up, and we have good
We
fighters.
have many fighters and many who are behind the scenes who you don't even know the names of faces, but there's a coordinated effort to make sure that we're lock, stock, and barrel on this.
Hmm. And if you guys aren't following CAOC, definitely follow, support, and get behind it, and you know, pay attention to it. You
Let's do
know,
it,
absolutely.
and I'll get you some links where people can go get some more information, and if they would like to help out in the effort, there's going to be some links for people to donate some money.
Excellent. And we can link it down below.
Definitely.
Perfect. Awesome.
Then
Well,
we'll,
thank you, Logan.
thank you.
Appreciate it. So stay tuned for more. Hi, everyone. I'm Dene Jones, your local representative for Global Financial Partners, the one-stop shop for all your funding needs. I'm excited to connect with you today and pleased to always support the incredible work you all do in the personal injury space. I'm also proud to share that Global Financial Partners sponsors PI Today podcast, helping bring valuable insights and medical education to our community. And don't forget to like, comment, follow, subscribe, and share this episode. See you all next time.